Good morning, sons and daughters of the Most High. This is Brother Chukwemeka. I'll start the message I have today with a comment that was left in my channel. And to be honest with you, it is the Most High that sent whoever left this comment. And I bless the name of the Most High for the person. His name is Monday. His YouTube name, of course, is Mogu Monday Chinaza. And he left two very important comments that will be the key to the video I'm going to make today. The first one he left was about the tribe of Issachar. And he said, I'm putting the comments here so you can just go and read it and see the entirety of what he wrote. He said, my name is Chijioke Abba. Thank you very much for the wonderful revelation. I spent hours online almost every day looking for what I just got from you right now. To prove that your research is all true, I would also like to add about Issachar. If you read the narrative of Olaudah Equiano, the ex-slave, he was a young Igbo boy, kidnapped from his village and sold into slavery along with his sister. He mentioned that he was from Issachar. Today, Issachar can be confirmed to be in Igboland, Imo State, Nigeria. Now, when I did the video on the 12 tribes found in Igboland, in that video, I talked about 8 tribes. I didn't even mention Issachar. And the funny thing is that I've read Olaudah's book over and over again, and that didn't even occur to me. Brothers and sisters, that is how you see. This is the future of our research. This is the future of us reclaiming our identity. This is not something that somebody somewhere can do alone. You have to build on the work that people have worked on before. Before it was people like Professor Alezi, people like even Remi Ilona that was saying that we are of biblical origin. However, when I started looking into this, I realized that we are of biblical origin, but we are not Jews. We are not Jews. The Jewish people stole our identity. And I've been able to explain that in a number of videos. And I'll keep saying this. And hopefully people will listen to it. Look, the fact that you've been reading New Testament from day 1 to day whatever does not mean that you are right. If anybody in the world can show me where the word rabbi is written in the Old Testament, where the word Pharisee, Sadducee is written in the Old Testament, then I will believe that the Jewish people are the people of the Bible. But these things you see in the New Testament is not the same as the Old Testament. The New Testament is a totally different religion from the Old Testament. The Old Testament children of the Most High is the Igbo culture. In fact, the people you see in the Old Testament, almost all of them can be found in southern Nigeria today. Southern Nigeria. And the Hebrews in the Old Testament are the Igbo people today. We are still there. The Jewish people stole their identity and then put in their own Babylonian crap into it and then called in the New Testament and wrote a bunch of nonsense. Can you imagine the names in the New Testament not coinciding with the ones in the Old Testament? For instance, when John the Baptist was supposedly born, a story which I have proven in this channel to be a false story, to be just a made-up story anyway. When John the Baptist was born, he was named John, and people were like, why will you give him a name that nobody has borne in his family? That tells you that the Hebrews named their kids after their ancestor. Now, the entire 12 apostles of Jesus, none of those names can be found in the Old Testament. What are the odds that 12 young men were born and they were all given names that never existed in their land and they all grew up to hang out together? What are the odds? That tells you that there's something wrong with this story. But anyway, it's comments like this that really, really gets me excited about this whole thing that we're doing, because to be honest with you, we're doing a thankless job and we're speaking to a very, very stone-headed people. But when people see the work we do and they go back to their communities and say, oh yes, we have this and we have that, that's the future of us reclaiming our identity, knowing back who we are. It doesn't matter how many things that have been said about Jewish people. Once the Igbo people realize that this is our identity and we live by our God, all these things will come crumbling. All of them will come from there. So I thank the Most High. We now see clearly the tribe of Issachar has been identified in Igboland, and that was the first person that came out, to the first Igbo man to write a book in the 1700s, not be today. He wrote the book in the 1785, and he mentioned that his community was called Issachar, which is what the Europeans transcribed as Issachar. Now, honestly, the Most High will bless this brother Chijoke or Chilaza for the comment he left. The second comment he left, he talked about how the Bible was probably interpreted, which is, it goes without saying, to be honest with you. But let me read what he said. He said, come to think of it, King James got scholars who interpreted the Bible in English. And that was how the KJV of the Bible came to, how come the KJV of the Bible? Probably the spellings and pronunciations of these names were made by the way the scholars could, under the rules of their own language and phonetics. The words has to suit their phonetics to enable the king and his people pronounce it. For example, Issachar in Igbo language is pronounced Isaka, which gives us, a long a sound, which could be wrong in their own phonetics. So they will rather say Issachar. Another example is the word Zebulun. The scholar could not pronounce N and Z at the same time and also back it up with an obolo. It was against the rules of the phonetics which their tongue is already accustomed to. So all they could do was restructuring the word in a way it could be pronounced, because King James must read his Bible in his own language. They might lose their license. And he goes on to explain it there. You see, children of God, first of all, Igbo, first of all, children of the Most High, Igbo Mwele Madu. This boy, this brother that left this comment, is actually a very smart person, as you can see, because he clearly just said the way the Bible was interpreted. If you read the history of how the English Bible was interpreted from French, it was actually interpreted from the Geneva Bible, which was written in French language. This is exactly what happened. Our people are smart enough to figure this out. The only thing we need to do is to bring it to their attention. Let them know of this. Let people see that this is a deception that we've been living through. Once they see this, the scale will fall from their eyes and they will come to realize this whole thing will come crumbling down. You'll see it. There was a time I used to live in Port Harcourt, Children of the Most High. As you know, my name is Chukwemeka. Some people call me Emeka for short. I used to live in Port Harcourt and I used to work with Europeans in Port Harcourt. And the name they call me is Emika. Emika. Some of them even call me Meek. The Europeans don't care about pronouncing your words correctly. They have to pronounce it in the way that is compatible with their language and their phonetics. That's exactly the way the Bible was interpreted. There are a combination of letters that some people, some tribes, some language cannot pronounce based on the phonetics which their tongue is accustomed to. For instance, in Africa here, the letters GB, as in Abalaka, the Europeans cannot pronounce that word, that GB letter. KW, as in Kwara, they cannot pronounce it. NZ, Nzeribe, they cannot pronounce it. What was it again? And so many other combination of letters. Okay, NG, basically they can, basically when you have M or N as the preface, as the first letter, they just can't pronounce those. Especially when it's followed by a consonant, they can't pronounce those. It's just the way their tongue has been construed from their language. And so you have to understand that when you're reading the Bible, these names you're seeing is not exactly the way those names were pronounced 2,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago. King James got a bunch of people, including Shakespeare, together to interpret the Bible from the French Bible. And maybe someday I'll explain this in a separate video. But the English Bible was transcribed from the Geneva Bible, which was written in French. And these people had to interpret it the way that is compatible with their tongue, so that they themselves will be able to pronounce it. So if you read the Bible and you assume that the words you're seeing there is exactly the way the original words are pronounced, then you need to update your knowledge. That is why if you open the same verse, the same chapter and verse in different versions of the Bible, you get different things. For the same thing they're trying to describe, you get different words. Because these are interpretations, and the interpreted words depends on the knowledge, the phonetics, the language of the person who is doing the interpretation. That's it. So let me use this. Building on this, let me see if I can explain to brothers and sisters the way that we can identify our tribes. Because this is not a one man's job. This is something that we, each and every one of us, when we know who we are, we look into the names of our community and we'll be able to pick those from the Bible. When I did the video on the 12 tribes found in Igboland, a number of people were like, I should also look into their communities and see if I could identify their tribes. Most of those people happen to be from Imo State. And today I'll use one community in Imo State, which I recently went to give examples of how you can identify your biblical tribe. You see, Imo State is like a melting pot for Igbo land, and anybody, I mean, a lot of people will know that. The dialects in Imo State change as you go from east to west in that state. It's a very, very big state. Don't mind how they draw Nigerian map. They tend to draw Igbo land as if it's just one dot on the map. Imo State is really, really big and varied. And so it represents a number of tribes. But today, I want to use a particular community called Mbano to the biblical connections I saw in that community to give examples to brothers and sisters on how you can identify your community in Igbo land. Okay, now Mbano means four nations. Okay, this could be four brothers or four children from four mothers or something like that. Originally, that founded that large territory that is called Mbano today. And now, if you go to Mbano, very close to the Imo Abia border. And in the first video I did on the 12 tribes, I mentioned that in Abia State is where you see, according to the Bible, where you see the tribe of Judah and the tribe of Benjamin all living together. So that is not only in Abia State, it also filters into Imo State. And we're going to see that today. If you're going from Imo State into Abia State and you're driving, let's say you're going from, going towards Umuahia in Abia State. In that first video, I explained that Umuahia means children of Ahia, and Ahia is of the tribe of Benjamin. But if you go to, if you're going to that, I think it's Ehime Mbano, very close to Umuahia area. There is a community that is called Umulolu Ahia and Umuoma Ahia. I think it's Isi Alambano, sorry, I may be wrong about that. But it's called Umulolu Ahia. And there's another one called Umuoma Ahia. So you see the name Ahia. I'm not talking about the Umuahia in Abia State now, but you see the name Ahia in that community. There is also another community that's called Umueli. Umueli. For those of you who are not Igbos, Umu means children. So when they say Umueli, it means children of Eli. Eli is E-L-I. In that same community, you also see communities called Umuelem or Umueri. These are names, biblical names. But the interesting thing that in this community, this place in Mbano, you have Umoma here, children of Ahia. You have Umueli, children of Eli. Let's go to the Bible and you see these names in the Bible, in just one chapter of the Bible. Follow me to the book of First Samuel, or what they call First Samuel, chapter 14. In the book of First Samuel, chapter 14, in verse 3, it says, "And Ahia, the son of Ahitub, this Ichabod's brother, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eli, the Lord's priest in Shiloh." Here you have Eli, the priest in Shiloh, who is the tribe of Levi attached to the people of Judah. and Benjamin, because this chapter of the Bible is talking about the book of Samuel. Basically, First and Second Samuel talks about mainly Judah and Benjamin, especially Benjamin. So it's telling you that Ahia, the son of Ahitub, the brother of Ichabod, the son of Phinehas, is also the son of Eli, the priest in Shiloh. And in the same community, in the same community in Mbano, you have Umueli, children of Eli, and you have Umomahia, children of Ahia. Two names that are related in one community, and they are close to what we've already identified as the tribe of Benjamin. How can that be a coincidence? We know that Umuahia in Abia State is children of Benjamin. We know that. And so when you are going there, you are looking at the people. The Bible here also mentioned Eli as another priest in Shiloh, connected to the children of Benjamin and the children of Judah. And right there, you're seeing it at Mbano. These are communities there in Mbano. That cannot be a coincidence. If you go there now, you see Deeper Life Church and this one church in Umweli community. But can't they see their names in the Bible? The name of their father is right there in the Bible. They are children of a priest, a high priest in the Bible. So we need to identify we need to understand our identity. Also in Mbano, I think this time is Ehime Mbano, this a community called Umu Eleala. Umu Eleala, which means children of Eleala. The name Eleala is also in the Bible. Okay, in the Bible, if you go to the book of Numbers, brothers and sisters, follow me to the truth. Book of Numbers, you find that in Numbers chapter 32, in verse 37, it talks about the Reubenites built up Heshbon, Eleale, and Kiriatarim, as well as Nebo and Baal-meon, which name was changed. Of course, the name Baal-meon was changed because it has to do with Baal. It has to do with Baal, so they had to change. That's why the Bible wrote there clearly that name was changed. But you see the community there, Eleale, in the Bible. And here, and that community is identified as the tribe of Reuben. Also in Mbano, you see a community called Umu Ale Ala, children of Ele Ala. Tribe of Reuben, right there in Imo State. So if you don't know who you are, people will always take advantage of that. How many tribes have we talked about? Like 10 tribes or something. Right there in Imo State, in Mbano, Umu Ele Ala. And Ele Ala is mentioned right there in the Bible as the tribe of Reuben. Okay, so let's keep going. We also see other names like I mentioned, Umuelem, Umuerim. These are all names these are all biblical names right there in the Bible. And the difference between what it's pronounced today in Igboland and what is written in the Bible might just be one letter, which one letter does not change the name. It doesn't change the name. Just changing one letter does not change the meaning of a name. Okay. Also in Mbano, I saw a community that's called Umuelema or Umuelemai, children of Elemai. These are biblical names in the Bible. You see the name Elam, or the name Elam is a Hebrew name. Go and read the book of Chronicles, the book of First Chronicles. I think in chapter 8. These are Hebrew names. You see it right there. Okay, so the final one I want to mention in this piece today is another son of Benjamin in the book of Genesis, chapter 46, in verse 21. A son of Benjamin was called Ehi. That's the third son of Benjamin. His name was mentioned as Ehi. However, that name is in the book of First Chronicle, chapter 8, in verse 1. That third son of Benjamin was actually called Ahara. So the real name, the name Ehi, you will realize, is actually a nickname or an abbreviation, because the book of Chronicle mentioned that his name is Ahara. And this is supported in the book of Numbers, chapter 26, in verse 38. He was also mentioned as Ahara in the book of Numbers. So it tells you that the name Ehi is actually an abbreviation or a nickname, basically. Also, in this Mbano community, I think it's Isiala Mbano, you have a village there that is called Angara, tribe of Benjamin. It's pronounced Anara, but it's called Angara village. How can this be a coincidence? You know, then you have the tribe of Benjamin. The children of Benjamin are here. The children of Eli, all of them, they are mentioned there. And Ahara as well. And this is an area very close to the Abia border where you expect to see children of Benjamin, children of Judah living together. It's right there in the Bible. So, children of God, Most High, this is it. This is how we can identify our tribes in the Bible from the names of our communities, from the names of our Umuna, from the names of even the rivers in our communities, because these names have been preserved by our ancestors from time immemorial. It's not this madness that we are seeing now. People are changing their name from Umu, something that is very useful, to Umu Jesus or Umu Chukwu or something like this, which is ridiculous. The people who have preserved this name, is from this name that you can identify who you are. If your name is Ngozi Okeke and I go and change it to Goz, you will never know who you are. If you are missing, you will remain missing forever. You will never identify yourself. The name identifies you. And it's from these names that we can identify our biblical origin. And the reason we are doing this is not because we want to prove to anybody that we're better. The reason we are doing this is if once we realize that we are children of Abraham, we are children of Jacob, then it is important that we keep the laws that have been handed out to the children of Jacob to keep. We keep these laws. These laws are embedded in our tradition. Emenihan and our sons. So don't do something that defiles the land. These are all biblical laws that the Most High gave us. It's not for you to start going to church and start screaming blood of Jesus every which again you're just making noise. It doesn't work. What works is for you to keep the laws of the Most High. Abide in the ways of your fathers. Join your village meetings. Go to your community meetings. Celebrate your feasts. If your people are celebrating New Year Festival, celebrate it with them. If your people are doing Amawolu, celebrate it with them. If your people are observing anything, do it. That's what you're supposed to do. And not supposed to go to church and stuff money into the overgrown pockets of some criminals. Let us return to the ways of our fathers. Let us return to the ways that our ancestors kept for us. Because our ancestors preserved this tradition. They fought off the Ottomans that came here to conquer us. They fought them off. And today with Christianity, we can't even stop these Fulanis from slaughtering us. Where is Jesus now? Jesus came when he been for where we never see Jesus. Priests that are saying mass in Catholic Church also have AK-47 in their pockets. Is Jesus sleeping? Why can't Jesus come and protect you? If a Dibia is sitting down, a qualified Dibia, a Levite, is sitting down in his obi, and you're telling me that Fulani is to come out forward, Fulani those Fulani, they will just die there because the Most High protects. Our ancestors were protected by the Spirit of the Most High, and that's why the Ottomans could not conquer us. But I've told people this, and I'll keep saying it. The fact that the British ruled us or conquered our land and ruled us does not mean that we were conquered. We were not defeated, children of the Most High. We were deceived. There is a difference between defeat and deceive. We were deceived. They knew that if we abide by the ways of our fathers, they can't conquer us. So they deceived us, coming to tell us that, oh yes, the God the Father has said, you don't need to be offering sacrifice, you don't need to do burnt offering. You should just call on blood of Jesus. Only with Jesus. Who is he? And so we're deceived to abandon the ways of our fathers. Let us return to the ways of our fathers. The Most High will wake people up in our midst. Let us keep circulating this news to people. The Most High will wake up people that can make a difference in our community. May the Most High bless us.